अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय
नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
जय
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
जय
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय।
जय
ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय।
जय
नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय।
जय
पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय।
जय
जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा रानी की जय।
जय
गंगा माई की जय।
जय
यमुना माई की जय।
जय
तुलसी महारानी की जय।
जय
भक्ति देवी की जय।
जय
राज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
जय
जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण
Assembled devotees.
हरे
All
कृष्ण
glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्ण
All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13. Dhritarashtra quits home. Text 22. Andaha puraiva vadiro manda pragyascha sampratam Vishirna danto mandagnihi saragaha kafam udvahan. Andaha puraiva vadiro manda pragyascha sampratam Vishirna danto mandagnihi saragaha kafam udvahan. Andaha puraiva vadiro manda pragyascha sampratam Vishirna danto mandagnihi saragaha kafam udvahan. Please chant.
अंधः पुरैव बधिरो मंदा प्रज्ञाश्च सम्प्रताम् विशीर्ण दन्तो मंदाग्निः सारगा कफम् उद्वहन्. हरे कृष्ण.
अंधः पुरैरो मंद प्रज्ञाश्च संप्रतम विशीर्ण दंतो मंदाग्नि सरागा कपम उद्वहन्.
अंधः पुरैव बधिरो मन्दप्रज्ञश्च साम्प्रतम् विशीर्णदन्तो मन्दाग्नि सरागः कफम् उद्वहम्.
हरे कृष्ण. अंतः पुरैव वदिरो मंद प्रज्ञाश्च साम्प्रतं विशीर्णदन्तो मंदाग्निः सरागः कफम् उद्वहन्.
मन्दापुरैव वैदिरा मन्दप्रज्ञा च सम्प्रतम् निशीर्णदन्तमन्दग्निशरकापम् उद्वहन्
Thank you. Word to word translation. Andhaha, blind. Pura, from the beginning. Eva, certainly. Vadhiraha, hard of hearing. Mandapragyaha, memory shortened. Cha, and. Sampratam, recently. Vishirna, loosened. Dantaha, teeth. Manda agnihi, liver action decreased. Saragaha, with sound. Kafam, coughing much mucus. Udvahan, coming out. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. You have been blind from your very birth, and recently you have become hard of hearing. Your memory is shortened, and your intelligence is disturbed. Your teeth are loose, your liver is defective, and you are coughing up mucus. Purport. The symptoms of old age, which had already developed in Dhritarashtra, were all, one after another, pointed out to him as warning that death was nearing very quickly. And still, he was foolishly carefree about his future. The signs pointed out by Vidura in the body of Dhritarashtra were signs of apakshaya, or dwindling of the material body before the last stroke of death. The body is born, it develops, stays, creates other bodies, dwindles, and then vanishes. But foolish men want to make a permanent settlement of the perishable body and think that their estate, children, society, country, etc., will give them protection. With such foolish ideas, they become overtaken by such temporary engagements and forget altogether that they must give up this temporary body and take a new one, again to arrange for another term of society, friendship, and love, again to perish ultimately. They forget their permanent identity and become foolishly active for impermanent occupations, forgetting altogether their prime duty. Saints and sages like Vidura approach such foolish men to awaken them to the real situation, but they take such sadhus and saints as parasites of society, and almost all of them refuse to hear the words of such sadhus and saints, although they welcome show bottle sadhus and so-called saints who can satisfy their senses. Vidura was not a sadhu to satisfy the ill-gotten sentiment of Dhritarashtra. He was correctly pointing out the real situation of life and how one can save oneself from such catastrophes. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Andaha Puraiva Vadhiro Manda Pragyascha Sampratam Vishirna Danto Mandagnihi Saragaha Kafam Udvahan. Andaha Puraiva Vadhiro. Andaha means blind. Andaha Pura. From the beginning you have been blind. Eva Vadhiro. Vadhiro means you're becoming hard of hearing. Yes, your hearing ability is also going down. Recently it started. Manda Pragyascha Sampratam. Manda Pragya means your memory is also weakened. Yes, your memory is shortened. Manda Pragya Sampratam. So all these changes have happened recently. You're becoming hard of hearing. Your memory is shortened. Vishirna Danto. Danta is teeth. Vishirna means the loosened. Your teeth are loosened. Mandagnihi. Your digestion is also weak. Right? Digestion is weak, or your liver is defective. When your liver becomes defective, your digestion becomes weak. Saragaha. Ragaha. Sound. Saragaha means along with sound, or you can say music. What is happening? You're coughing. Kafam Udvahan. Right? So when you cough, you're coughing, there's a lot of mucus, right? And the sound is coming when you cough. What sound? Sound of the mucus. And you're throwing mucus when you cough. These are all the symptoms of old age. So you have been blind from your very birth, and recently you have become hard of hearing, your memory is shortened, and your intelligence is disturbed. Your teeth are loose, your liver is defective, and you're coughing up mucus. What is the context here? So we read that Vidura stayed back for a few days in Hastinapur for the purpose of enlightening his older brother Dhritarashtra. Of course, it's not that he's only speaking to Dhritarashtra. Everyone is present. When this conversation is going on, everyone is present. But he's addressing Dhritarashtra mainly. He's saying Rajan. He's speaking specifically to Dhritarashtra. Also here we understand he's being addressed as Rajan. He's not Raja anymore, isn't it? They lost the battle. Kauravas lost the battle. Still, Dhritarashtra always held this grudge that he actually, it was his right to be the king, but because he was blind, he could not become the king. And so he wanted his sons to be the kings after him. So like that. So Yudhishthir Maharaj is out of respect, and because he is the uncle of the king, so he means that he's the senior most uncle, right? The eldest family member there. So he's being addressed as Rajan, king, to please him. Dhritarashtra, but Dhritarashtra is, the thing is, Dhritarashtra is comfortable with that situation. That's the whole problem. That's why Vidura is shaking him up. Wake up, wake up. So in the past few verses, we have seen the conversation between Mahatma Vidura, what Mahatma Vidura is saying. So he addressed Dhritarashtra saying, my dear king, please get out of here immediately. Why? Insurmountable eternal time imperceptibly overcomes those who are too much attached to family affairs and are always engrossed in their thought. Those who are absorbed in family affairs and they're always, their thoughts are filled with maintenance of family or affection for family. What happens to such people? Very soon they will be overcome by time. imperceptibly. You don't even realize when it has happened, and now it's time for death. Right? So you be wise, my dear brother, my dear king. You get out of here immediately and see how fear has overtaken you. You're fearful. This frightful situation cannot be remedied by any person in this material world. Huh? Nobody is able to help you in this situation. My Lord, it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead as eternal time that has approached us all. Who can overcome? If you stand in battle against the Supreme Lord, who will be able to overcome him? And he has come in the form of time, Kala. Whoever is under the influence of Supreme Kala must surrender his most dear life, and what to speak of all other things, his wife, his children, his land, his wealth, his home, everything has to be surrendered at the time of death. Yet we are so absorbed, we are still meddling with these things until the fag end of life, until the last moment of death. Until and unless we are forced out of this, we don't want to give it up. Nevertheless, we will be forced. The fact is, everyone will be overcome by the influence of Kala. Just see, in your own life, you have seen your father, Vichitravirya, he was the king, he died. Then your brother Pandu, in front of your eyes, you saw him. He was the king, he was the emperor. He also was overcome by time. And then in this battle of Kurukshetra, all your sons, all your well-wishers, Bhishmadev and Dronacharya, all your sons, everyone was killed. They all passed away. Everyone had big, big plans how they're going to enjoy and they're going to expand their empire. But by the influence of time, they have all passed away. And you yourself have expended the major portion of your life. Right? You spent, now you're in old age. You have lived your life already. Now this is the time to, you're just about to give up your body. You're at the fag end of your life. Your body is now overtaken by invalidity. And still, you're comfortably living in another's home. So that brings us to today's verse that says, what are the symptoms of invalidity? What is it that you're going through now? You were already blind from birth. And now, recently, you're not able to hear properly. You're not able to remember things. You're not able to discriminate between, things. Your intelligence is also not so good anymore. It's disturbed. Your teeth are loosened. You're not able to eat the food items which you used to be able to eat before. You cannot eat them anymore. And sometimes even when you eat some foods, you're not able to digest them. Your liver is defective and you're coughing up mucus. This is your situation. So what is Mahatma Vidur pointing towards? By pointing out all these symptoms, what do all these symptoms tell us? They tell us that death is approaching. So Srila Prabhupada explains very nicely that it's not that death is only coming after old age. That's the death that we are going to experience. And until then, let's enjoy. That's the opinion that materialists have. You enjoy life now. When death comes, right, after old age. So when old age comes, then we will think of death. If they are a little pious, then at least when old age comes, then they will think, now let us do something about, my next life. But the fact is, this world is called Martyaloka or Mrityuloka. Mrityuloka means the world of death. At every moment we are dying. We are dying at every moment. We think we are living. Actually, we are not living. We are dying. For example, let's say someone, for my birthday, somebody gifted me, my parents gifted me $100. I have $100 in my hand. And then I go and spend $10. Yes. And then after that, I spend another $10. Then I spend $50. And what is remain? So when after I spend $50, I'm only left with 57. I'm left with another $30, isn't it? So what do I have now? What have I been doing with the $100? I have been spending, and my bank account is going down. As soon as I get the money, I begin to spend. So what I'm doing is I'm spending. Spending means I'm finishing that money. So as soon as we get this life, we get this body, we get a certain time to live in this body. Let's say we get 100 years to live in this body. But as soon as I'm born, after 1 hour, I have died 1 hour. I spent 1 hour. It's not that I lived 1 hour. My one out of 100 years, 1 hour is finished. I died 1 hour. And then when I celebrate my first birthday, I say I'm 1 year old. No, I'm 1 year dead. 1 year is finished from my life. And when I'm 20 years, I'm 20 years dead. And if I'm 60 years, I'm 60 years dead. But the interesting thing is, I don't even know if I have remaining 40 years. At least if I had that guarantee, then maybe I can plan. But all I know is how I'm dying at every moment. I'm just dying at every moment. Just think about it. How powerful is Maya that makes us think that I have so much more time, and then I make so many plans, and I'm carrying out, trying to follow my plan. And what is all my plan for? How to build my empire here, how to make my position, and how I'm going to enjoy, how I'm going to control. And we do organized planning. We have planning commissions for this. But all we are doing is we are dying. We are dying at every moment. So that's why somebody who is under the influence of Maya is called a foolish person, right? He has this foolish idea that I'm going to make my life I'm going to enjoy in future. Yes, I'll become happy in future. And when you're young and strong, when your intelligence is sharp, when your senses are strong, then I spend all that working hard so that in old age I will enjoy. Just look at that intelligence. Now you go to hell. Now you work like a donkey. And then I will save up all this so that I will enjoy in my old age. And what is the situation in old age? Look at Dhritarashtra's example. Even if you wanted to enjoy, you cannot enjoy. It's not that you don't have the desire. You have the desire to eat. You want to eat nice, wonderful things. You want to enjoy. Prabhupada says that desire, lusty desires, they don't go away. This is another illusion. Another illusion. People say, when you're young, you should enjoy. Because when you become old, you don't have the desire to enjoy. Don't worry about it. Now you enjoy nicely, and all these things will go away. When you're old, you'll become wise, and all this desire for enjoyment will go away. You get maturity, right? And you'll become spiritually conscious once you become old. That's not going to happen, my dear friends. It's not going to happen. If I live my life, in sense gratification today, then that is going to be my consciousness tomorrow. If I endeavor for spiritual progress today, then I can expect to have spiritual consciousness tomorrow. It's not automatic that I will enjoy today and tomorrow I'm going to become a very Krishna conscious spiritual person. Or at the end of this life, I'm going back to Godhead. I'm going back to Krishna. My consciousness today is deciding what my consciousness will be in the next moment. My activities now are going to decide what my consciousness is going to be in the next moment, and the next moment, and the moment after that, and finally at the moment of death. But if we have this foolish idea that automatically all my lusty desires will go away when I'm old, and then I will chant Krishna and Rama, and happily I'll go back to Godhead. Prabhupada talks about this. I think this is a Christian priest that Prabhupada talked to. He was an old person. I think he was over 80 years old. And Srila Prabhupada asked him, so what is your idea of, what will happen to you, right? What is your idea of death? Or what is going to happen to you after this, right? What is your future, basically? So that person says, Swamiji, I will die peacefully. I will just die peacefully. And what is after death? There is no understanding. Because there's no understanding of reincarnation. There is no understanding of what is going to happen after death. There is life after death. Nor is that being taught. We have so many educational institutions. Nobody is teaching us, neither in schools nor in colleges. All we learn about is how to make your homes more comfortable, find more, gadgets and cars, and how you can enjoy and have sense gratification, how you can improve the standards of your sense gratification. That is what we are studying about. And if some people are a little pious, then okay, we have to be more environment conscious and, save this earth and this and that. But what is going to happen to me? Am I going to stay on this earth eternally? Where am I going? That is not being taught to anyone. Another illusion. In old age, so this is nature's arrangement. Varnashram system is so scientific that up to a certain age, you live student life. And after that, you enter into Grihastha ashram at a certain age. And then when you enter into Grihastha ashram, you get responsibilities. You'll have wife and children. You have to work. And automatically the body changes. Yes, you have seen people who get married, their bodies will change. It will show them that it will actually make you conscious that I'm getting older. It will teach you responsibility. Life is not just meant for enjoyment. Yes, generally you will see in the, those who are responsible people in the Vedic system, once they get married, after a few years, when the children come and they are growing, then the parents kind of step back and they give the enjoyment to the children. And now they become more responsible and they can see that their bodies are changing. They are becoming old. That makes them aware of their situation, how life is moving forward, and what to speak of, when you have to get your children married and now you are entering into old age, and then they kind of give all the responsibility to the younger members, and then they become more serious about their spiritual life. This is the plan of the Varnashram system. What are we doing today? We want to remain young all the time. Even when we grow old, we want to dress like teenagers. We want to look very young. Is it not? We dress like young people, and then we cover, make our face look young. And if the teeth are loosening, we try to, fix them and have whiter teeth. And that's all the propaganda. You go to a dentist's office and you'll see how you can look young. And then your hair is growing gray. That is a symptom. It's a warning from nature. You're getting old. You better become serious about spiritual life. And what do? We dye our hair. We look young. And then what? And then we become happy. Oh, I'm young now. How foolish is this? Just think about it. How foolish is this? Have I actually become young? Has my life extended? So with this foolishness, we continue till the end. My knees are hurting, my back is hurting, and still I pretend like, oh, I'll do some exercise and this and that, and then I try to. This is called simply treating the symptoms. When you get a fever, then yes, to reduce the temperature, you take some medicine. You take some Tylenol or something. The fever comes down. But if you don't understand what is causing the fever, then it's going to come back. The fever is going to come back. And meanwhile, it's actually destroying your body. The infection that is in your body, it's destroying your body. So somebody who's becoming happy by treating the symptoms and is peaceful, what will you call such a person? He's being foolish. So the whole modern society is going in that direction. This is called the mode of ignorance, not even passion. This is the mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance means it's illusion. Accepting the wrong to be right and putting all our energy and endeavors in that direction. That is called the mode of illusion. So, simply treating the symptoms and then thinking that now everything is fine. That's not intelligence. So we need somebody to come and wake us up. Yes, we need some sadhus to come and tell us, wake up, sleeping souls, wake up. What are you doing? Like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, yeah. How long will you sleep in the lap of Maya? Rise. Death is coming. It's just standing on the door, knocking on your door. Wake up. Take Krishna consciousness seriously. Only Krishna can save us. Nobody else can save you. Not your health insurance, not your life insurance, not your nice big home or your position or your friends, your loving family. Nobody will be able to save us. The only person that can save us is Krishna. And when our senses are strong, when our body is strong, that's when we have to establish that relationship, develop that dependence on the Supreme Lord. Then at the time of death, by his mercy, we will be able to remember. There's one more point here actually. So is this death? Because we heard already death is Krishna himself coming in the form of death. So what about those who take to Krishna consciousness? This is another thing people ask. Do you mean to say that devotees don't grow old? Only materialists are growing old? They're chanting Hare Krishna, they are also growing old, they are also dying. So what is the big thing that you have achieved? So in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we read about King Puranjana's story. Again, that's also similar situation. Here, Vidura is waking up Dhritarashtra Maharaj. There, Narad Muni is going and shaking King Prachina Barhi. King Prachina Barhi was so absorbed in performing so many karmakanda sacrifices. And in those sacrifices, he was sacrificing animals. So many animals were slaughtered to perform those sacrifices. In fact, it is said he performed so many sacrifices, like he would perform one sacrifice here, and as soon as this is done, next to that, he'll do another one. And as soon as that is done, after that, he'll do another one. Like, so practically the whole surface of the earth was covered with kusha grass, because when he performed sacrifice, you use kusha grass. So the whole surface of the earth was covered with kusha grass. And he was performing sacrifice after sacrifice, sacrifice after sacrifice. Narad Muni felt compassion for Prachina Barhi. And then he wanted, this king Prachina Barhi wanted his sons, the Prachetas, also to do the same thing that he did. So he sent them to perform tapasya. while the sons were gone, of course, first of all, Narad Muni preached to them, and then they went away to, surrender their lives to Krishna. They were performing tapasya, but Narad Muni came here to King Prachina Barhi, and Prachina Barhi was very proud of his position, of performing so many sacrifices. So Narad Muni told him like an allegorical story. I'm telling, when you want to tell someone, just like here we are seeing, foolish people, yes, when you go and tell them that you're wasting your life, your future is so bleak, you're going to die, like the way I said a couple of minutes ago, very forcefully. If I go and speak like this to somebody on the street, they wouldn't want to hear me. They'll just go away. Srila Prabhupada says that they take such sadhus, right? They have come to awaken them to the real situation, but they take such sadhus and saints as parasites of society. You don't have anything else to do. Go get a job. Because they think they're so important. They're working, they're earning their livelihood, and they're, supporting a family and even doing some community services. They're actually real people. They're hardworking people. These sadhus, they simply sit and chant Hare Krishna and they beg, they live on donations. What is this life? So Prabhupada is saying almost all of them refuse to hear the words of such sadhus and saints. So if Narad Muni were to go to Prachina Barhi Maharaj and tell him, Maharaj, you're wasting your life, all these animal sacrifices you're performing, the result will be all those animals that you have sacrificed, they'll come and they'll kill you. I can see your future, you're going to suffer. You think King Prachina Barhi would just accept it? No, he would get offended because he's proud of his position. But if somebody else were to go and tell him, oh, you're so wonderful, you did so many yagyas, wow. And then, or some astrologer will say, I see your future, you will live at least 125 years and you'll have so many sons and grandsons and your kingdom is going to expand, all positive, nice things. Then regardless of whether it is true or not, they'll become so happy. They'll welcome such astrologers or sadhus, give them so many gifts, and even tell everyone else, all other friends, this is a very good astrologer, he told me so many things, you should also go to him. So this is a society of the cheaters and the cheated. Those who want to be cheated will be cheated, right? Will be cheated by the cheaters. So a real sadhu will go and tell the fact, there's no market for that. People don't want to accept it. Nevertheless, the saintly people are so merciful that somehow or other, they want to give the medicine because they're concerned. They're seeing these people are going to fall in the ditch. I have to save this person somehow or other. So like the parent gives the medicine in a candy, like that, the Sahir Narad Muni is telling, I want to tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a king called Puranjana. Actually, that Puranjana is King Prachina Barhi only. So, in that context, while telling the whole story, again, I lost track of what I wanted to say. So, so in that chapter 27, we will see, I remembered. So, we were saying how the devotees, are they also affected by old age? That was the question. So in that allegorical story about King Puranjana, it is said that, I won't tell the whole story because that's a whole class in itself, several chapters long. But that Puranjana is nothing but the living entity, the spirit soul. And he lives in a city. That city is his body, our body. And then he has so many, family members and soldiers and all that. That is all the, his life air and his mind, his intelligence, his senses, like that. So he's living in that city. And once this city is attacked by the enemy. Who is this enemy? This enemy is Kala, time. And then he's coming with whom? He's coming with Kalakanya or Jara. So this Jara is nothing but old age. Old age. So before coming, this is history of Jara. She wants, nobody wants old age. Yes. So she's a very ugly lady. And she's approaching all men. I want to marry you. I want to marry you. And everyone's saying, no, 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 we don't want to marry you. So then she approached Narad Muni. Once Narad Muni had come from Brahmaloka, so this Jara approached Narad Muni and she said, I want to marry you. And Narad Muni said, I'm a brahmachari. How I can marry you? Sorry, I cannot marry. Then she became angry with Narad Muni and she cursed him that you cannot stay in any place for more than 3 days because you have refused to accept me. She saw he's a brahmachari, so she got attracted to him. She wanted to enjoy with him. And then he said, no. So there in that context, Srila Prabhupada explained that this Jara can, and then of course she got, Narad Muni sent her because she really wanted to marry. Narad Muni said, you can go and approach Bhaya. He will marry you. So she approached Bhaya and then Bhaya said, you can be my sister. Sister means you'll be like my wife, but you'll be my sister. I won't marry you. And then he said, I have an older brother, Prajwara, right? Like that. So together you, along with my brother, you can go and attack all people. So what happens is, Puranjana is the living entity in this material body. And at a certain time, old age will attack. What happens when old age attacks the city or the body? All the gates of the body, you have 2 eyes, 2 nose, 2 ears, tongue, genitals and rectum. So all these holes will be blocked. The function of all these holes will start weakening. That is the first symptom actually of old age. Of course, the hair is also graying, but you will see, like for example, just a few days ago, I got glasses. I'm not able to read as clearly. I never thought that another sign of foolishness. I never thought that that day will come because I always had very strong, vision. I could always see even the smallest things. But all of a sudden, one fine day, things look blurry. I cannot make out what's written there. What is this? These gates, they're getting blocked. They're becoming weak. Can't hear things so well, right? You have to repeat. I'm not able to remember things that have happened. What is all this? Old age is creeping in. This Jara or Kala Kanya is embracing me. Yes? So now when I see these symptoms, what should I do? Immediately fix some things. Everything is fine. I can manage. That would be foolishness. An intelligent person. So anyway, that's another story. But when Kala Kanya, she will attack people. But she won't be able to attack devotees. That's the point. Then you'll say, but devotees are also getting glasses. They're also getting all, their hair is also growing gray. Then how you're saying that Kalakanya is not attacking them? Because all these symptoms cannot thwart, cannot obstruct a devotee's devotional service. In spite of old age, in spite of whatever symptoms, they continue on in their bhakti. You can see shining examples in our society, beginning with Srila Prabhupada himself. Whatever symptoms of old age, they cannot obstruct the devotional service of a devotee. He will go on in spite of whatever. You look at His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. You look at His Holiness Radha Govinda Maharaj and so many other devotees. Old age cannot marry, cannot embrace the devotees of the Lord. So therefore, it is in our best interest to take shelter of Krishna while we are young and strong, very sincerely. And then when we are not able to do later on, if we are not able to do, sometimes there may be circumstances when we may not be able to do, then at that time, seeing the devotional service that we have done when we were able, then Krishna will carry us through those times. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyaham I will carry what you lack and I will preserve what you have, Krishna says. But we have to do our duty. Let us give all our energy in Krishna consciousness now with all the resources that we have. And then when we may not be able to do in future, if that time comes, then Krishna assures us, don't worry, I will carry what you lack and I will preserve what you have. So another point is sadhus, they're always truthful. They will tell. It's not that the other person may not like it, so let me tell him nice things to flatter him. No. You can flatter the person, but actually you're not helping that person. Even if the person may not like it right away, it will actually help him later on, like a bitter medicine. When you take the bitter medicine first, you don't like that, but that's actually going to cure your disease. So sadhus must tell the truth. Of course, I was listening to a lecture of His Holiness Prahalananda Swami Maharaj, and Maharaj says, yes, you must tell the truth, but at the same time, it should be encouraging, right? If you only say negative, 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 your teeth are loosening, you're going to die, or your hair is gray, now you're going to die. If you say like that, especially new people, they won't appreciate it. So you must, especially when you're giving them a book in Krishna consciousness, you should say positive things, how it is going to help you, it's going to enlighten you and other things. And when they read the books themselves, they will understand, yes, all these other things, old age, how this means death is going to come. And if they are a little submissive, yes, we must tell them very clearly, straightforward, because that is the medicine. So in the last line of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, Vidura was not a sadhu to satisfy the ill-gotten sentiment of Dhritarashtra. Not that, oh, I'm so sorry, my dear brother, you lost all your brothers, but I'm so happy. I'm sorry, you lost all your sons, but I'm so happy that now you have, you're so nicely being taken care of. Yudhishthir, you're living a comfortable life. I'm very happy for you. Goodbye. Not like that. No. Vidura was not a sadhu to satisfy the ill-gotten sentiment of Dhritarashtra. He was correctly pointing out the real situation of life and how one can save oneself from such catastrophes. That is a sadhu. Sadhu must tell the truth. So I will end there. Thank you so much for your attention. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments?
Hare
Very,
Krishna.
very nice class, Mataji.
Thank you.
Anybody has questions or comments, just please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Lot of things to realize. Old age. I am in that path.
But you have taken shelter of Krishna. So
I hope Krishna will help me. But one thing, like you're saying, these glasses and other things, lot of things, they're coming before old age, lot of people. So what is that? How can we think? But because young children, they wear glasses, they cannot see.
yeah.
So
That
they have.
they cannot see, but that is also a sign that this body is perishable, right? Things are not perfect here. So for a devotee, any situation will be an opportunity to take to Krishna consciousness. So whether we are young or we are old, Prahlad Maharaj said, what is old age? Old age means just before death. So you don't think that you become old when you are 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. If you're going to die at 6 years old, then at 5 years age, you are old person already. And there is no guarantee when you're going to die. You can die at 6, you can die at 2, you can die at 20, 30, 50. So therefore, at every moment, our consciousness should be, I am old, because I can die the next moment. I can die any moment. So if my understanding is in old age, then I should become serious about Krishna consciousness. Then I should become serious about Krishna consciousness every moment from the beginning of childhood. Like that, Mataji.
But one thing, Mataji, young age, like old age, some memory power is losing. We're losing memory power. Young age, they don't have that much memory power, that much knowledge.
Yeah, that's why the training
is
is
that?
essential. When they're trained in brahmacharya, when they go to Gurukul, then their memory, everything becomes sharp. That's the system of education. But now, because the mind is becoming distracted by so many material things, so the memory is becoming weak. That's the thing. We are not able to function to our full capacity. Even small children, they're on phones all the time.
Yeah.
So all that is sucking out all their energy. They're not so sharp for that reason. I'll take other questions, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Gokulananda Priya Mataji, I think you raised your hand.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, very nice class. Yeah, and just just a good reminder for, especially for me, we're getting old. And I remember one Prabhupada tell one story very often about one a real right life story, like a gentleman. He was on the deathbed. He was about to die. He asked, he pleaded to the doctor, please give me another 2-3 hours. I have some more plan to do. So that I just want to remind, like nobody want to die, nobody want to die. Even if you're not too advanced, you don't want to leave this body.
I know.
You don't want to leave this body. We make so many arrangements. So I think that is a very nice class. It's a good reminder for us to think that, we have to concentrate more on our Krishna consciousness, get more, more purified.
Yes, Mataji.
And remember Krishna more.
That's the lesson of this verse. Become serious about Krishna consciousness now, because we don't know the future.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much. A very nice class. That's why I wanted.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. From Philadelphia.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Like everybody said, very, very important lessons are being taught by Mahatma Vidura here. In the way he's explaining it also, he's not mincing any words. But I think we can see how far we have gotten off track, that it is even difficult for us to understand what he is saying here. Because we are so far into gratifying our senses, doing all we can to gratify our senses, that we have forgotten. I mean, when you said at the first birthday, we celebrate it as a celebration, and we can celebrate it as a celebration, but it means 1 year has been lost. Not 1 year has been gained. And look at the way we are celebrating it now. So when you give this class, it is so difficult to accept and understand. And how many years have I been listening to this and still fighting it so much? My question is there, sometimes when you give it in subjective terms, it's maybe a little difficult for knuckleheads like me to understand. Is there a objective number when you say up to this age is this, up to this age is this, so that I can say, okay, I have celebrated this birthday already. That means I need to jump from this stage to that stage. And again, I think because of the way we have messed up our lives, everything has shifted. It used to be that girls used to get married at 13 so that they finish this by this age, and by the time they are 40, whatever.
Yeah. Now,
so if whatever numbers you give, I know I'm already going to be off because I started everything late. But still, is there I know at the end, like you were telling my mother, we have taken shelter. That means we have corrected our path to some degree. But still, is there a number? Is there an objective way to figure out where I should be today?
Yeah. Mataji, it's a state of consciousness. That's what we should be working on constantly. And also when I said you have taken shelter, how much you have taken shelter that is known to you and to Krishna. I cannot see. From external things, putting on tilak, wearing on sari, I cannot tell, or even chanting 16 rounds. That's not the end. So at what time should I become serious? Well, if you look at the Varnashram system, it is said 50 years is it. That's it. At 50 years, you give up family life. So even though externally you may be still there, but internally you're not there anymore. You should not be there anymore. Internally, your life is completely, of course, it's not going to happen overnight. So keeping that 50 as your target, you'll be preparing for that. Just like, your retirement, you're going to retire at a certain age, then you start preparing how you live after retirement and all that. So even when you are working and when you're young, still you're preparing for that, isn't it? So similarly, 50 years is the limit. After 50 years, it's going downhill. Your body is falling apart and everything is going down. So at that point, there's no more, thinking or planning for family and society and all that. It's totally, at least internally, 100% only Krishna consciousness. So I don't know your head, but
And I won't tell you.
I won't ask also.
Thank you, Mataji.
Sure. Any other questions?
GD had their hand up and then they put it down. Do you want to go ahead or?
I put it down because I wanted to hear the more learned and intelligent Vaishnava Katha. I was just thinking about how Prabhupada said at different points, he said, what is it? Satyam bruyat priyam bruyat. You should speak the truth, but it should be palatable.
Yes.
You reminded me of that when you were talking about the lecture you heard by Prahladananda Swami. And I was thinking somehow it's a difficult line sometimes to walk between to say, you want to say things that are encouraging, but you also want to speak the truth, and sometimes the truth is not so encouraging. So you have to play more like the Vidura role, because it's always surprising to me to read that section of the Bhagavatam to see how much he was really devoted to helping Dhritarashtra, even though Dhritarashtra was manifested so many godless activities. Anyway, thank you very much. And that was just a comment.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Maharaj said, so somebody had asked at the end of the class, Maharaj, can you give us some tips on how to approach people on the street when we are going for book distribution, etc. So Maharaj said, the people in the world, you keep it very simple. You just ask them things that they know about. So you just ask them, what's your name? That is all that they can relate to. And then maybe which place they are from and, what work they do and how many, their family. And that's about it. Anything beyond that is esoteric for them, Maharaj said. Anything beyond. So keep it very simple and just say, get them to say yes, right? So you live in so-and-so place, yes. And you do this type of work, yes. Give a donation and they'll say yes. And then you give them the book, take the donation, and then let them read. So it all, so that was Maharaj's point. Don't talk too much, because when we tell them too much, then we can sometimes, put them off. So that was his wisdom. He said, don't tell too many things. Just give them the book. And once they read the book, then they will understand these things. So, and when I speak, I tend to tell the truth. If I had to weigh between, telling the truth and being nice, I think I would tell the truth. As you must have heard in the class, I try to tell the truth first. And if I can be nice, then it's good. I'll try to be nice, but make sure that you tell the truth. Hare Krishna.
Sometimes they say truth is better. See,
Yes.
some people, they don't take truth, So
Yeah.
that is another thing also to be careful about.
Yeah, we have to be sensitive.
But when it is life and death, I think that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila
All the
Prabhupada
Vaishnavas,
ki jai.
all the Vaishnavas, jai.
Hare
Thank you, Mataji.